Let's just check that for, yeah, I think that's about right, don't you? Maybe zoom in just a little tad. There we go, I think that's good. I think we're good to go. There we go, I think that's good. Switch the sound off on that. Which would end up with a complete loop of video sound. Okay, let the stream catch up. Good evening, Mr. Go For It. Hello. So, tonight we're carrying on with our French retinue, the mounted part for the upcoming game from Dr. Bob. Which is ecorcheurs. And these are the miniatures. I'll get the ones we painted last week out in a sec. Sorry, the week before, because unfortunately I was a bit poorly last week, so I missed a session, so sorry about that. Evening. I didn't put the thing out because I was hoping right to the last minute to actually get online, and I was just too poorly. But I don't want any sympathy. I want to hear about it. So I finally got around to finishing these guys off from that video. So I'll have a quick look at those. You put them at the back of the desk for some inspiration. Yeah, so these were the front rank miniatures. Yeah. These were the front rank miniatures from the Kickstarter for ecorcheurs. But I believe you can just buy them on the Beastie website and select your own, which is good. As last time, I'm going to keep the horses pretty simple because there's not a lot of horse to paint, really. And we're going to go over the top on the stuff on top. So I was thinking about just doing one tonight, but I thought, hey, sod it. If anything, here at Pirate Paints, we always try and bite off more than we can chew. Because why not? So I think there's 8 of these all in all. So what I'll probably do with the other 4 is use them for, I'll try and get some like short videos of how to paint chainmail or how to do this on those. Because there's some exciting news going on. So, but we'll get to that in a bit when the chats are fully loaded. So I've done the usual Xenophil undercoat with through the airbrush Vallejo black, matte black with Vallejo grey sprayed for a Xenophil effect. And this is just ordinary matte black paint. I'm just going to have an easy black horse. I do a brown. So, hope you've all had a good week. Ahoy, Rich! How goes it? Yog. Yes. Yeah, my deepest apologies for being lurgied up last week. I tried to avoid it, but these things happen. I think it's from the show. It was like there's lots of people and at the show coughing everywhere and there. So I'm just going to hit the other horse with oak brown. Bit of medium into it. Makes it nice and yep, fair play. Yeah, it's been a crazy old week this week. Big news happening. Which we'll get to in a bit. Let's see, what have I? We go through what have I painted this week? Okay. It's been a bit of a confusing week this week, so painting wise, finished up some 15mm ottomans. They're all done and dusted. And done some more Normans, including like the bodyguard for King John as well for Baron's War. I think that's for Baron's War. I think he's gonna use it for. So we went a bit sort of Robin Hood-y on that. Judge Dredd miniatures. I've been quite busy this week, haven't I? Judge Dredd. There was another one as well. What was the other commission? Oh, there was a couple of. Actually, it was a couple more. There was some Lord of the Rings ones. There was one with like more modern miniatures, like the Heroes of Rohan style ones. And then there was one with Rooks. It is an Isengard army. So yeah, I mean, the paint has been flying with a vengeance this week. Oh, and some test paints on some of these little buggers that are just waiting for lacquer. A Warlord, black powdery stuff. So that's them done as well. They're funny, aren't they? Right, so let's get the gunmetal down. Gunmetal. I think that's all I've painted this week. All I've painted this week. Let's use the really crapped up brush for this, because it's always good to do that. Bit of medium into the metal. I'm not going to pick up the gold bits yet. I'm just going to as you see the state of this brush. It's when I say use your ruined brushes for the metallics, I mean use your ruined brushes, as long as they're not all straggly and throw paint everywhere. Jobs are good in. So there we go. That's what I've been up to this week. With the medium in this metallic, you don't want too much in there, just enough to let it flow off your brush, because it kind of will dry in the brush and go all claggy. Certainly is, my friend. I think the clocks changed this weekend as well, and that's for us UKers. You can go back an hour, don't we? So for one morning we get an extra hour in bed, but everything gets really dark. That's the best description, isn't it? I don't know. Yes. Yeah. That's all exciting. I don't think it's my most exciting news, though, is it, Rich? Haha, Rich. brush is actually right on the edge of being binned, this one. So. So where do we start? That's the question. Where do we start? Well, as you know, I suppose we'll start at the start. As you know, that I am a full-time commission painter. And Pirate Island here, as it's affectionately become to know by Beastie Boys, etc. Pirate Island is technically the spare room in my house. I know that's a shock to some of that's a shock to some of you. As the years have worn on, as you do, I've picked up more and more stuff. So I used to fit in this room quite nicely. But I've managed now to take over the second spare room. And also most of the conservatory and some of the front room. Now the last little bit was pushed on because, as long time listeners to the channel would have remembered, my friend Jean-Luc, who sadly passed away. Well, he left me a lot of old miniatures and stuff. Basically, his beloved collection, basically, which again has pushed me way over the edge of what space I've got. And for some time, I've been looking for and thinking about, do I need to go and hire a studio, etc., etc. I've always had it in the back of my mind that it'd be nice to have a studio that's big enough to have a gaming table and a little shop, etc., 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 etc. So that's what's happening. I shall, over the next couple of weeks to a month, be moving out of Pirate Island, off of Pirate Island, and into the Crow's Nest. So there we go. Now the Crow's Nest will obviously have my painting. Yeah, I'll have my painting room obviously set up, but the bigger area is a big gaming room. So it's a fairly big gaming room. So I shall be open for visitors by sort of more like an appointment thing. I don't want a regular hour thing. Don't want to time myself there like that. But once it's all up and running, I shall be letting people use the gaming tables, because there'll be a few gaming tables. And I thought, well, I'm calling it a shop, but I want to make it like a we've got so much old vintage stuff that I'm going to set it up as like a vintage game shop that people can come and have a look through and find everything. Yeah, cheers, Rich. So I know it's a bit of a travel being in Swindon, but if anyone's ever passing, yes, there's the grudge. The grudge match has been waiting for some years now. It is going to happen. Well, and hopefully the other thing I was hoping to sort out in there is to set up a kind of a live cam in the gaming room, so we can do live battle reports and stuff like that. I'm going to get my technical friends on that and see what we can do, and then of course I can do everything up there. So that was my big news, I suppose. Big news. Back to the painting. Otherwise, I'm not going to get these done. I was thinking of some nice stripy stripes on this one. I was thinking about yellow, maybe yellow and red. But instead of pink this week, we shall use as a base colour the John Blanche Sunburst Ochre, which is like a very brown yellow. So we're just looking for a different tone. So this goes with the 6, but just one tone darker. Yeah, the idea of the gaming room at the Crow's Nest is going to be we're going to run campaigns, etc, 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 and I've got that second channel already set up on here called Pirate Rich Plays, and I'll put all the battle reports on there and all the unboxings on there. So if you've not subscribed to that one yet, now's a good chance. There's not a lot on there at the moment, but there hopefully soon will be. Also, we'll be doing role playing in there as well. So if that gets popular, we might even do stream some of that. But it's going to take hopefully I'll pick the keys up early next week. So it's going to take us a month or so, maybe 2, to get really sorted out. Evening, Artemis. But we'll be nice if we can carry all the Griffin Beast stock in there. I've already spoken to those chaps, and I carry it at shows anyway. So it'd be quite handy for people if they need to grab anything. I just thought a sort of hobby shop that doesn't really focus on kind of Games Workshop-y stuff. Obviously, it's probably the priority of the place is my painting studio, but I think with losing John Luke, it's kind of pushed me to kind of sort out a place that we would like to have gone, you know. Okay, Andy. But I'll keep everyone posted on the updates as they happen, I suppose. This is, I say, Pirate Rich Paints is going to stay predominantly just the painting channel, which is sponsored. They supply me the miniatures, etc. So it's definitely going to stay Griffin Beastie orientated, where Pirate Rich Plays is going to be whatever we're playing at. So yeah, I was thinking this one's going to be like a yellow and red stripe, so I'm probably going to do yellow and red stripes going that way on there, then horrendously up and down each panel, I think. And I think we do the saddle red, and we do his padded circuit thing. I don't know what it's called. Is it padded circuit? We have that yellow. So yeah, so I've been very excited. I've got lots and lots to sort through. Found stuff that's like right from the start of the hobby, really. As my collection was, Jono had the same stuff, so I'm like finding kind of the Airfix modelers thing with the war gamers in it, and thank you, Coops. There we go. And then we're going right over the top. Why not? Yeah, this ochre is really kind of a weird start for the yellow, but you'll see it's. I thought I'd just show you it's different to the way we did it with the pink. Just set a couple of stands up for the shields. I was just Squeeze the blue tack into a point. Then just let the shield, don't push it down too hard, because when you pull it off, it kind of pulls the paint off the back of the shield. I've not painted the back of the shield yet, so it doesn't really matter. I thought, well, because there's 8 of them, I can afford to play around with the colours a bit. Look, make them look magnificent. Okay, so that's going to be Mr. Stripey. And this one's going to be pure yellow with a I'm going to do a coat of arms on him, so let's get that down. Again, I'm thinning the paint out with a bit of medium. Oh, pardon me. Excusez-moi. S'il vous plaît. So I don't know where I'll be next Friday. I don't know if I'll be over here or over there, or whether I'll be too knackered to do anything. I will keep you posted this time. I would think I'll still be here, so I can keep painting. So I've got commissions to do. I'm going to in my new studio, the last place I'm going to set up is going to be my paint room. Strange enough. So there we go, just laying this down. It's got pretty good coverage. We don't need to go on too thick, because obviously we're going to build up from here. So anyone else painting anything tonight? What's on the desk tonight, Cubes? I know you'll be painting something. No? Okay. So we just work this yellow round. Give us a nice base for everything. Nice. Still deep into October. They are fun to paint, aren't they? It was Frostgrave stuff you were doing, it? Yeah. Sometimes it's nice if you especially had a busy spell in it, just to do something a little bit sort of, I was going to say mindless, but where you don't have to put a lot of thought into it. You know what I mean? So if I had a particularly hard day and it's like, oh, I've got loads of basing to do, so you just daubing, yeah, basing stuff on. I think I'm gonna just, he's just gonna have a, no, but gonna give him a fancy lance as well. I give the other guys some plain ones, so I'm trying to mix it up a bit. Nice. Found another figure that me and Jean-Luc were looking for absolutely ages, that I can now begin another project on. I'll show you in a sec. Did I tell you about the Joe? The Friday I told you all about John O'Gowan. I was talking about this horse. I don't know if you remember. Remember I said about this horse, and I'd had it for like forever. Like, it was one of the first conventions that me and John went to, and we bought that. And I was really sad because I lost a horse. I'd lost a horse like probably 20 odd years ago. Well, I was just sorting out one of the final drawers, and it was all rubbish, and then I slid it and thought, oh, that's weird. Look what we found. There he is. He's come home. Now that's strange. And I raised this horse to Jean-Luc, John the Viking. Strange, eh? Welcome back, Andy. This is sat at the bottom of one of Dono's boxes for 20 odd years. Well, how the hell did he get over there? Never mind, these things are mysteries. So now I'm just going to go around, hit all the gunmetal with our washed out black. So it's not known oil, even though it's in an oil pot. It's when I mix up. So it's basically my matte medium, a bit of leftover non oil in there, and a bit of leftover Army Painter dark tone, and then just keep filling it up. But I kind of like the on a bit of black ink. I like the dark tone from army paint, but it is very dark and it needs watering down anyway, so I tend to just use it to fill this pot up. Make sure it's all sitting into the grooves rather than puddling up. Yeah, he must have been. I was very pleased to have him back. I say, because it was one of the very first conventions that me and Jono went to. Actually, went with his dad, who had nothing to do with wargaming, but was absolutely hilarious. So keen to get involved with everything. We kept losing him to like all the participation games. It was in one of the Welsh shows that's no longer there. But it had loads and loads of participation games, and we kept losing him. Look around, there be playing something else. Brilliant. Proper old school show. But that wasn't actually the miniature I was talking about. I got sidetracked again. The miniature got lost in our collections, long eaten up by the Jean-Luc lead mounting. And when I wanted to try and find it for a project, couldn't. I'll grab it in a sec. Once we've got this on, so it can start drying. I can put the heater on in here just to make sure all the paint dries. The bases weren't drying earlier. I just put the heater on to make everything work. It's absolutely tipping down out there. Absolutely tipping down. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. This was the next sidetrack. Is this chap. Now, when I let John add him, he had his mount as well, and he still had a head. He's still holding a head, so unfortunately that bit's missing. But it might be in a box somewhere. It might turn up. But I'm sure somebody knows. Cubes, yeah. He had this guy, the foot version. I had this whole set. I know they all went to him, but I've only managed to locate him so far. It's one of my favourite early miniatures, that was. But yes, there's buckets. Ah, yes, but they're going to be in my cube. That's the thing. A lot of those are going in blisters and are going to be hanging up in my shop. I'm not going to have any new stock. Well, I'll have the new Gripping Beast stuff, but I've got loads of empty blisters, and they're going back into blisters and going on a rack. I don't know if you guys have spotted what's hanging around at the back of my desk. So you got like the well, these are I've had it there for a while. But the Talisman Pirate, obviously. Not only have I got the pirate, I've got the pirate frog. Gobbos. Now that's some of my early painting from back in the day. I was being battered around a bit, but those paints were the old TSR D&D paints. Understand they've re-released this miniature. Yup. There's some old stuff kicking around at the back of my desk. This is a rare Griffin Beast miniature. I've got to obviously ruin one of the eyes. And that's one of my early paint jobs as well, back in the day. One of my favourite dwarf miniatures. I'll sort all that out later, I think. I found this guy as well in the box. 1986 Grenadier. But I have literally got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff like that. And now I've got John Luke's boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. So everything, a lot of the rare stuff that I've got, I've actually doubled up on. I think I've got Gorka Morka stuff in the loft. Yes. And I found not Kurgan. Also found probably the Gandalf from the Shall Not Pass set, which I'd lost for ages and ages, and I got the Balrogs up on the shelf. Now I've got the Gandalf to go with it. Well, I found out the other week in one of my boxes. But hey, back to painting. Let's do some painting. So I've done the base yellow, so let's go for Demigod Flames. That's quite a jump. You'll see quite a jump when we hit this yellow in. I'm going to go for the mediumly. Oh, absolutely. But every room in my house is like that at the moment, Cubes. Oh. You cannot walk anywhere, so. I'm still laying this down nice and thin. I just want to go all over. But I'm using the thin because obviously the one I've just put on is going to be darkest in the valleys. So I want to stay right out of the valleys if I can, right, just the bottom. Let's say I'm just going to use that as the, yeah. I would grab the barrel down, but it's very dusty and very too big to put on camera. Yeah, it'd be nice to get in there and let people game, because it's like, I'm a bugger, so I'll see a game come out, say for instance, the last time they released 40k, I think it's a Leviathan set, and I really wanted to paint the Tyranids in it, so I bought it to paint the Tyranids. So I painted the whole box, but there it sits under the side of my paint station. It's never been played with, so that'd be nice, taking it to the crow's nest. So if somebody wants a game of 40k, they can grab the box, have a game, or if somebody wants to buy a painted box, they can do that. We can do whatever people want. And it's like, I've painted about a dozen Blood Bowl teams, and they come out at Christmas really, but they should be in a league. It's going to allow to do that. So hopefully it'd be busy on Pirate Rich Plays as well. On there, I am. Yes. My plans with these two, as they're forming, are I'm going to. This one's going to be purely yellow. So I'm just going to work the yellow out of all the highlights, which is why I'm being a bit happy with it at the moment. This one, sorry. I'm going to put red stripes on this one in a minute. And this one, I'm going to put a coat of arms on. If that makes sense. I just want to build and establish some of the yellow highlights before I start putting the red stripes in. You know what I mean? I was trying to veer away from doing them all as too much known heraldry, so it sort of ties your force to a certain. Well, you can't have him there because he died, you know, and that sort of. Well, I'm going to avoid all that. So I'm going kind of off-piste, as it were. I just want to build the shields in. That brown, I just wanted to use it more like just an undercoat, really. So we're going to cover a lot of it up, but that's why I'm not worrying about it getting a little bit sketchy at the moment, because there's still so many layers to put on. Okay. And this one. Now this is the one that's going to be pure yellow, so working pretty quick just to get this. My paint's pretty thin, so some of that original colour is going to show through anyway. This is the start of our blends going up. Not too much of that original colour showing through. Okay. So now we'll go to Fiendish Yellow. Just make sure when you're using the yellows you give them good shakeage, because I don't know, I found that the pigments in them does tend to separate quite a lot. So if you don't shake them, you don't get the right colour out. Look at that, add lots of medium. So this is where it starts turning proper yellow. So now I'm going to stay inside where we've just been. Still using it very thin. We're starting to work on our peaks rather than our valleys. I said, if you're going to use a wash, I would probably have washed quite early on in this, because otherwise you blow it all back, you lose all your nice blends. So if you want to use like an orange wash, I would go quite early with it, or water it down a bit and be very careful with it. Depends how much of that original. We're not going to have to do it because that original Blanche one is very, as you see how orangey it is now. Too orangey for crows. But tonight the dog decided just before we come on camera to zoom downstairs. Obviously he decided he wanted a settee night. No, we went with tonight I've used Sunburst Ochre, which is one of the John Blanche paints, and it's like a very orangey yellow. It's at the bottom of the yellow triad, if you like. I was just going to show you the difference it makes working up from like a orangey yellow, like a ochre colour, well, as it says on the pot. It's very similar. If you look on there, you get a very similar tone, really, with that browny ochre. Yeah, he's been having a bit of a hard time with it because he's a few fireworks this week, and they for Diwali. Diwali. Sorry, my apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly. But, you know. Yeah, I think with the pink base coat, it's one I like to pull every so often just to make it different. The old ship's dog, Spike, used to love fireworks. So we had to keep him under tight control because he wanted to go and watch the fireworks with the kids. Like, which in fairness, Tank was okay until the second year when somebody decided to let a late night rocket off out the back near the garages. We'd thought it all finished and he'd gone out there for a pee. And somebody let like a massive one on the floor, which scared the bejesus out of him. And now the slightest little pop of distance you can hear. Yeah, so you see, I'm just going back over the same areas, just trying to catch those higher areas. The yellow paint I'm using is very, very thin. So you're always pushing the pigment around. As you see, it's building up pretty quick. Hope it's not glowing out too badly on the camera. There we go. This is where you start working around and looking at, make sure you've not too much of the base shown, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So this is one that's going to be pure yellow. So I'm going to be a bit fussier how strong I get this yellow. So I want a bit of a smoother look to this texture because it's going to be completely yellow. Down. Start by going to the high points and work away from the valleys. A bit more medium in there. I always found with the yellow, rather than try and like the other colours, you're trying to build up a very strong thing as quick as you can. I've always found with yellow, if you kind of are a little bit looser with it and just try and make sure the dark bits are left where you want them to be left, yeah, jobs are good, you know. Very similar to painting white as well. I will do a white, one of these as a white, a white night, the white night. On I'll do a how to paint white video with one of the other guys. That'd be a good one. Now you can see the difference in tone looks. I've not done that one yet. There's still like a highlight to go yet. So when you're building up the highlights, rather than worrying about where you're putting your highlights, on yellow I always focus on where I'm leaving my shadows, which sounds like it's the same thing, but it's very much not. So I'm working so quickly because I'm not really worrying where I'm putting my highlights. I'm just aiming to stay off my shadows. And that sounds a bit weird, but when you have a go, you'll see what I mean. Come into the shields with the bright yellow. I'm going to start leaving. So when it's solid at the top, I'll start feathering off towards the bottom. And just chocolate it a little bit. And we'll work just at the top, yeah? Can you see it? You should see those feathery bits. Show you again. So I'm going like what, 3/4 down, up to the top. And then across the top, I want it to be solid. But as we get towards the bottom, I want it to feather. Then we're going to hit edge, edge. That's where it's going to be the brightest. And then just eyeball it and think, yep, that's all right. Maybe a little bit more in there. Okay. So now I'm going to go back in with the same yellow at the moment. So we're still on fiendish yellow. And I'm just going to run it down my peaks. Just strengthen that out a bit. So strengthening those, and we've already decided where our shadow's going by the last coat. So this time we're going back in, concentrating on the peaks. As you see, I'm working a bit slower this time because I don't want to. Those shadows that we left behind last time, I don't want to wreck them. So I'm just going to concentrate on those peaks. The top area is going to get lots of light. Just tighten it all up. Working very thin paint again. Building our layers. I don't really see well enough from the yellow what we're doing. It's hard to see, it's building up I suppose on camera. This is just coming down the okay. Well, last time I didn't go right underneath, so we're just going to go around the top there. So I was trying to put some texture into these by not being smooth as usual with the paint. Again, going down the peaks. Using the shape of the model. If it comes out really strong, it means you've got too much paint on your brush. So just take a bit out on the palette and go back in, slurp it up into the brush and move it around. That sounds very dodgy, Andy. When you said a Star Trek parody, Gary Chalk on, I think it was on Twitter, it might be Blue Sky, I think it's Twitter, put a link to Galaxy Quest, saying what a great movie it was. Absolutely spot on. I'd forgotten about that movie. The cast is stunning, isn't it? But apparently it originally set out to be a lot darker than it was. Do you know what I just thought? I was thinking I could watch movies up the studio now. And I remember I bought a video projector and a screen years ago. And never used it. It's next door. It's got to go up to the crow's nest. Oh my god! So just nipping over the shields. Look, I'm going a bit lower this time, but I've thinned the paint out, so it's more like a wash over. Yeah, Alan Rickman was awesome and Sigourney Weaver, and is it Tim Allen, the other guy? And that lady from Dodgeball, the one that played the Russian, and she was in it, wasn't she? So it's a great cast. Alan Rickman, when his false head gets damaged at the end and his hair's poking through it, that's just so brilliant, and he's just lost it, and he. Is there any film that Alan Rickman didn't make better? I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Home Improvement. Is he called Tim Allen? Is that Tim Allen? Is it Tim something, isn't it? But Alan Rickman even made the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner a watchable film. Okay, so we're going to hit with Demonic Yellow now. We're on this one, aren't we? The reason I'm switching about is to give the so I'm using thin layers of paint. I want them to be nice and dry. Oh, pardon me. I'm just coming down the center of any of these peaks, keeping that thin, because this yellow, demonic yellow, is really yellow, and if you don't go careful with it, it'll just wipe out all your blends and just end up with a really bright yellow. So as you can see, that's how thin I'm running it. Oh, excuse me. I'm just going down any of these high spots. Just keep mixing that medium in. Get that yellow paint like that. See how see-through it is. It's almost, if you see the true colour coming out of your brush, stop and go and put some more medium in it. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I was trying to do a live paint along. If I get the cameras rigged up right at the crow's nest, I can invite people up to paint along. So I can, yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? See if we get down for a special guest. Sorry, I'll keep on about it, guys. A little bit excited. To share with my crew, you guys. I know some of you are a bit far away to visit, but you never know. It is, but it's more the sharing of it all, Cubes. You know what I mean? I just feel like I've got all this cool. I've got all these cool toys at my in my at Pirate Island, and no one ever gets to see them or sharing them. It's been really nice doing these Friday night videos. It's like which I prefer doing to the how tos. You know what I mean? I know I can see the point of having a how to paint this, how to paint that, but it's nice just to have a chat, isn't it? See, that's gone on too heavy there. So what I do is I've gone back into the medium, washed it out on the palette, and I come back to the area with a bit of extra medium in there and just spread it out a little bit. There we go. Using the medium for the next brush load. Evening, how are we doing, mate? In the mornings, Rich, the parking is okay, a bit dodgy, but after 5:30 during the week, it's fine, and at weekends, it's fine. So, yeah, we'll be all right. But yeah, I just can't wait to get the keys really and get everything set up so we can start playing. It's like having a big man cave, really. I've managed to snag a painting studio with a man cave attached. Yes, so Mr. Outlaw, you missed my news earlier. I hope the other guys don't mind me blaring it over again. And I'm sorry if you're watching this on watch back. I've managed to snag a new painting studio, and I'm going to open it up with a gaming tables and a little shop of selling kind of like I do at a show, selling painted miniatures and vintage stuff. Also, I'll be carrying Griffin Beast stuff as well. But yeah, but mainly it's going to be a gaming area. It's going to be like a, yeah, it's going to be. It's not like a, it's not a massive shop as is. It's going to be my paint studio, so it's going to be very much word of mouth, and give us a ring first, make sure I'm there, not because I'm not going to be tied to keeping it open if I've got to do a delivery or pick up some stock from Griffin Beast or stuff. So be very much give people cards. They want to pop in and go through the stock or pop in and have a game or something. As long as I'm there, they can. But I'm limited to I think it's 10 people at a time being on premises. Just as you go. But yeah, but it's all good. I've already got in the room as well. There's already a 12. Was it 12? No, it's 6 foot by 12-foot tables already in there. I should be able to fit maybe another 4 6x4s in there, something like that. I should imagine. Rich, what do you think about that? I think. Yeah, it'd be good, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to try and get some cameras set up in there so we can go live on a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put the flesh base colour in of moonstone skin. Yeah. You good? Well, the good thing is, it's like I was saying to one of my friends is organising a Blood Bowl league, and since I've already got like 12, maybe more teams painted, is people won't have to bring minis; they can just turn up, and you don't have to carry anything. A lot of that will be carried through into other games as well. But we shall have a laugh. That's what it's going to be all about, having a laugh. So that's oh dear, and it wasn't me. Yeah, you get a few. We had right at the start of the channel, we had a few, and yeah, it just spoils it for everyone else if you don't send them away. So now we're going to start using some. We're going to start working some red into these guys now. Not that guy. He's going to have a different colour. Yeah, it makes you wonder if what some people get out of it, So now we're going to start with the reds. We're starting with the basilisk red as a base colour. So I'm going to do his saddle. Yeah. Not a lot you can do about it, apart from exactly what you did. Be careful of laying the base for the red in without getting on areas I don't want it. Nah, that's right, mate. There's always going to be someone that criticises you or offers unwanted advice or whatever. But you just got to remember you're the one that's putting yourself out there and making the effort. Which is all that's important, really, isn't it? Yeah. So we're going to work this one into red and yellow stripes. So we're going to work this round. This is where part of you cries because you've done all the work on the yellow. Okay, I think we're going to thicken that up a little bit. Let's get the other bit in as a guide. So it was all wandering off camera there. It looks like that, doesn't it? These are going to be just, I'm just using them for the French retinue. I'm trying to leave them very generic, I suppose, so I can use them for other stuff. I've got one eye on them to use them as jousters for a jousting game. I thought that'd be fun at the crow's nest as well, to have people. I'm going to try and rent like a club, so I want people to become members of it, so they'll be able to have their own knight and maybe their own coat of arms or whatever, and have jousts as well. So keep a jousting league, I suppose, for want of a better word. I thought that'd be fun on the wall. I found the old White Dwarf the other day with the full tilt game in it. So I thought maybe use that. I've even got the cardboard bits. When you're doing nice lines, you want the consistency of your paint right, so it just flows off your brush nicely. That's what freehanding and stuff's about, you know. And it's that medium. Oh well. Yeah. Trouble is, if you get somebody that's not joining in nicely in the chat room, it stops everyone else chatting. So that's something I say to people at shows is come and watch a video on Friday night, because we got a great bunch of guys in there. And you are very, very nice and respectful and want to chat about stuff. That's exactly what you want. You don't want someone feel if they say anything they're gonna have the Mickey taken out of them. That's no good. Yeah. Oh, was it a proper comment or was it on the live? Oh no, was it live or? Message me later and tell me what it is then. Oh yeah, yeah. Although YouTube's actually better at picking them up than they used to be as well. The AI, although sometimes it gets a bit overzealous. Was it Andy? Was it you that got Well, I found the jousting stuff in the one of my drawers still, and the cards. It was only the actual copy of the rules I'd waylaid, and then I found them. So hey. Well, they've got the half tilt by TT Combat, the Hobbit one. I could use the rules for that. It doesn't really matter. Mm. Yeah, I say the cardboard bits are a bit crushed up, but I'm sure I can straighten them out. I think all the cards are there. Back in the day when Games Workshop did good stuff. Although I think they cater to their audience, don't they? So I mean, it's like, I just don't think I'm their audience anymore, really. But hey ho. So I'm just leveling the yellow and the reds out. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's probably what seeded my idea. That I knew somebody. I was going to do his jacket stripy as well, but I don't know if it's going to be too stripy. I was going to section that off as well. I just don't know if it's going to be too much. I might just leave the saddle red and him yellow, and then do the. Mm, that's what I wanted to do with the crow's nest. I just wanted to, when me and my mates on a Sunday have got nowhere to go, and we think, oh, we'll go to a shop. And I'm not blaming modern shops for it, because you've got to make a living. But you go to um, the hobby shops that are around, and in fairness, the same stocks in every shop now. Probably a few exceptions to that rule, but generally they're stocking um, GW stuff and stuff like it, because they have to they have to make their money, and I don't blame them for that. They've got to stay in business. The situation I'm in is I've taken the unit on to do my painting in, so whatever I sell in there, it's a bonus. So I'm going to try and get independent stuff like Griffin Beast. I see probably Athena miniatures. I've not spoken to him yet. I'm sure he won't mind mentioning them. Um, and stuff like that, and see if I can sell the retro stuff as well, and painted stuff. I just think it'd be different. And if people want to drop by, have a game, buy a miniature to support it, all well and good. But I'm not in the situation where I have to rely on selling the latest Games Workshop stuff. So I suppose it's a nice place to be. Hmm. It'd be cool seeing all this old retro stuff in blister packs hanging up. I just think it's going to be so good, rather than looking at it all in boxes and picking up the odd miniature, just to go for a rack of it. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Andy. So I said if I was just opening a shop, obviously I'd have to stock like the latest Games Workshop stuff or the latest Warlord stuff or whatever. But I'm not in that situation, so luckily. So I can do what I like. The one I can't wait is to start running D&D campaigns. I love role playing. Yeah. So now I'm going to do another yellow. Because I don't think I'll get these completely done tonight. I just want to get it laid down. So demon yellows, we're going to go. I'm gonna go back in with the demon yellow. I think strengthen it up. So I went in there very thin, so I'm gonna just come down various highs. I've got a box full of the old Imperial and Breton knights. You can believe how many I've got. It's grotesque. One of my projects, I managed to pick up a load of old GW stuff, and I started painting one of every army because my idea was to run a campaign using the armies basically, which might even come to fruition now. I've got a venue. Finished the Empire and the Elves. So you get different yellow without the pink, and I think you get a richer yellow with the pink. And you get this dark brown, sort of ochre colour. What's it called? Yeah, sunburst ochre. You get a dirtier looking yellow. I think there's some on my... You've sidetracked me again. Let me see what I can grab off the mound of... Oh, what should we get you to draw with? It's alright guys, I'm just over here. Oh, that's Empires. Hey, got dusty. Where the other ones have gone. I put some on my... I put some up on the shop just to fill the page up. If you look on my Square site shop, there's a load on there. The chariots and stuff. So you got these guys that they're the later plastic ones. Are they the same ones they just brought out? I didn't put these on the website because I've only put the metal ones on the website. They were good fun to paint. This one was a conversion. Yeah, if you go to the website, yeah, the piraterichpaints.square site, and look at classic elves or something like that section. We've got all the metal ones I painted up for the army, and I've got the rest of the army over there. But when I did the website, I wanted some pretty eye candy, so that's what we did. Right, let's get some more yellow. Right, we're going to go warped yellow for our high highlight. Oh, that needs a shake. Now the yellows, as you go up, this has got a lot of white in it, so it's very glowy. So it's going to be horrible on camera. Again, lots of medium in it. I'm just going to run down the centre of the shield there, just to brighten that yellow up a bit. Across the top, there we are. Can keep that medium in there. Just in that very top piece of that. Then we're going to go, we're hitting the peaks, but in the middle of that red. So just get careful. Because it's quite watery, the yellow we're using, we're just kind of dotting it into the highest of the highs. And these are ones where on this tabard, sorry, his surcoat, making sure we don't get into any of those valleys now. Lift that highlight right up, right before we stick a shield on it. See right down the middle of those panels. See, we've done that side, look. You can see the difference. It's going to be a bit glowy on here, sorry guys. I'm looking at some different lighting for the studio. I like this it's a flat LED lamp that I've got here. It's very, very good, but it's very direct. I don't think it's very good for the camera. I've been looking at some big diffuse light boxes. Yes, I'm going to shade the red lines out as well. So I've got to copy my highlights on the red that I'm just doing on the yellow. If that makes sense. Bit more work, but it's going to look smashing. That's a smashing blouse. Sorry, channeling Rick Mel there. God rest his soul. But that's a smashing blouse. This way you just got to eyeball it a bit and go back round and touch a little bit in and what have you. Just a little bit more and that shield should do it, yellow wise. Just want that middle of the stripe very bright. Okay. Now this one, we just want straight down the peaks. Nothing in those valleys. A little bit across the top. There we go. Anywhere high. Get a bit of this light. Anywhere in the recesses, getting none. say I really to get one finished, I should have just done one, but it just was a good process to do the two of them at once, because we're working on thin paints and stuff. It's nice to leave one long enough to dry. I did at the start, I held the ones from the last video up. I'll do it again in a sec because I think you guys missed it. So we can see where we are. It's kind of 9:30, so got a little bit more time to work on these yet. Give them a second to dry. See if we can get a better look at these guys. It's for Lord S. You like the green one? Yeah. Okie dokie, let's start the next red stripe. So Wyvern Fury is the next one up. It's quite a nice jump in tone, this one. I'm going to cover quite a lot of the original one. Just leaving the edge. We could start down the center of them, work on it, just leave the edge down the center, leave an edge, there we go. So come down the center of this red line, just work out. But where on the horse, what I have to do is I'm looking peaks and valleys again. So I don't want to just paint a flat red line, because that will, as Andy pointed out, it will not destroy the work with the yellow. So as we go around this red, I'm looking for the peaks and valleys in the red. This first one, we don't really worry too much. And at the same time, I don't want to go to the edge of the line I've already created. So you can see on that line was a good example. I hope you can see it quite well. So there's that little valley there. I'm not having the paint so runny at the moment because I need to control it really, really perfectly. So I don't want it too thick, but it's a little thicker than I usually would. Down the center of that bit there. Hit those high bits. not so much on this first pass, because remember this is just establishing our red. But as we go into the pure reds, you just have to be careful of leaving some of this into the valleys, if you know what I mean. It's good if you can start. The earlier you start, better it is. Come down the center of that line. Any valleys, just leave. I'll just work around the whole saddle while I'm doing it. Okay. Any area that isn't quite wide enough, I'll just widen it out with this colour as well. It's pretty close enough to get away with. I could jump back to the other one. It's still on the wet palette. As you see, you work down the middle of that line, but just painting onto the higher bits, leaving some of that shadow behind. At this stage, don't be worried about going back. Eyeball it, make sure it's how you want it to be. We've all been painting at this long enough now. We'll know what we're looking for. You see how we're just leaving that first bit of the red. I've put my finger in some wet paint there. No, I haven't. I thought I'd anchored my little finger against the rump of the horse there and it wasn't dry, but luckily I'd used thin paint and it was dry. You see how it's... So that's that red. So next, start working this guy. So, something I don't usually do. Oh dear. Is I'm going to use some black. I'm not a big fan of using black while painting, but I really want... I'm going to paint a black design on there, so I want it to match in, and I want all the horse furniture to be black. So this is going to be black, just to make it look a little bit contrasty, you know. So don't you say, I do try and avoid using black. I see it's a bit of an absent, it's an absence of colour, isn't it? It's a shade. That's because I got those elves out to show you, isn't it? It was my fault. I take full responsibility. That's the other thing. Yeah, I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is going to be at the crow's nest, so I'll have to work that out as well. There might be a few more videos here at Pirate Island. Wouldn't it be cool if we get the crow's nest and we get people gaming in the other room and we can hear them gaming? That's a change from a dog snoring, isn't it? I'm going to have his leather straps in black as well. It's a shield strap in it. It's probably got a fancy name as well. Something like a shield holder. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, guys, don't forget to jump onto his channel and have a look. Painting Outlaw Studios. Drop by, give him a subscribe. So yeah, we're going to do black. We're going to do a black coat of arms as well. I think sometimes what I'm using black here is if you've got a lot of stuff going on in the miniature, sometimes you've got to do a bit of playing just so it doesn't look too over. Some miniatures work when you go right over the top. So you just got to be a bit, think it for a bit and think, oh, okay. I just didn't want to use red because I'm using red on the other guy. Let's do his Hoover's black. Straps on the backs of his legs. Got a sword belt as well. It's got to be really careful because if you hit that black onto that yellow, boom, yellow will suck because we've got quite a bit of paint on there. It will just suck that black straight in. It'd be hard to wash off. Not impossible, just hard. I've got a bit on his staff, so staff on his thing. Brush wet. If we're lucky, yeah, we're lucky. But you got to keep going because it'll leave a black puddle. Muddy puddles. I was going to give him a white tail, like a creamy coloured tail. So he's kind of, oh, let's do the strap of his sword. I'm tempted to do the sword scabbard black as well. He's having a identity crisis, this guy. He thinks he's the Black Knight, and then he's got a yellow horse. Yarg. I'm happy with that. He doesn't need any black on him. You actually need some leather work doing. Just start laying the leather work down. We could use the secret weapon to make it look a bit different to the others. No, let's stick with the good old Brigadine Brown. Yes, I was hoping to get to the freehand bit tonight, but I don't think we're going to, so maybe that's going to be a good... That might be another good short video to do. See if I can... I'm not going to have a lot of extra time this week, in fairness. But I can try, I suppose. I can set out with the good intentions of doing it. Maybe I have to video it tomorrow, and then, yeah, maybe. Well, like a little short video of how to do freehand. Just to run off there, so I'm just cleaning the brush out. What happened there is a lot of water built up in the brush, and of course, what happened is when I put the paint to the miniature, the water wants to run on there. Sometimes it's worse with some brushes are worse for it than others. I suppose it's the way the leading hair works. So every brush has a leading hair. It's probably got a special name for that. Karen would know if Karen was here, but Karen isn't here. Just laying this burgundy and brown in. Not worrying too much about going over the metal bits that are going to be gold, because the gold loves going over that brown, so that's fine. I think when you start doing these straps and stuff, it just starts tightening everything up, so all those yellows that we've worked on there, it's starting to look juicy. It should technically be that strap all the way around, shouldn't it? Because it's the leather rather than anything else, but I like painting them in metals, because I want to. There we go. See, there's a bit in his saddle there that should have a little bit of yellow in there, so let's go for one of the mid-tone yellows. A lot around the brush, and we're just going to dip it in there. There we go. You could just see it when you look down, and that would have annoyed me. So it doesn't get to be annoyed. So next is greedy gold. I'm going to go back to one of my brushes with the point gone. Well, it's still got some point on it. It's not pointless. just going to pick out the over shiny bits, just because I think it'll make the miniature a bit nicer for when we're going to call it for tonight in a bit. I'll save up my energy for Monday. I'm excited to get my keys. I don't know if I should go live tour or whether I should wait until it's nice, or perhaps I should wait until it's nice. Just this gold, we're just looking around to make anything we can. Look at the little fancy pants. And same with the Black Knight wannabe. I'll go back and paint the studs on his breeches. But I'll go back in there with silver. Yeah. So all in all, a very exciting week for Pirate Ridge paints. I'm glad I've shared it with you guys. I think so, Goobs. Yeah. It's certainly interesting, that's for sure. And that's enough gold. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what we've got. So I think that's about it for tonight. I would do one more layer of red, shall we? Dragon red. The red will actually look red when you put it on camera rather than that purpley colour. So again, add in some medium to it. Now I'm going to go straight down the middle of these lines and just let it build up. And there's a lot of water building up in the brushlet. Something's not quite happy in that brush. If it is, stop, clean it out, go again. Because all you end up doing is dropping a puddle of painty water on your miniature, and you'll regret it. And we go down the centre, and now we're picking up the peaks. So now we turn these red. There we go. Keeping that medium going in, just checking my brushes and picking the excess fluid up. And that medium going into the paint. Keep on the peaks, leaving the valleys, leaving the edge of the... I'm not going right to the edge of the red. So you've got like a nice border between the red and the yellow. I'll probably go around again with the red when it's dry before swapping to a brighter red for the last highlight. Yeah. So this red will just go around the top of this and feather off down the edge. And I'm not going right to the edge of the yellow. So around the side, but not underneath. there. That out with a bit of red. There we go. Now it's starting to look red. I'll do another pass with that red before I finish. Let's have a good look at this on camera before we go then. So that's our shield. We'll square that. There's a little bit, the shield's out a little bit. My painting shown the shield's out. Not a lot I can do about that. I'll probably go in with a very bright yellow and just do a little bit more clearing up with that. And then again, I'll do a little more clearing up with the yellow. And on his shield, we'll do like a black lion rampant or something. Right. 2 hours 40 minutes in. So we've got about what, 3/4 done, maybe more than that. So I'm quite happy with that workload today. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for sharing my excitement about my happy news after such sad news about Jean-Luc. But it's a nice thing to be. Cheers, cubes. I can't wait to see them all together. Like all 8 of them together are going to look absolutely smashing. And hopefully by then I should be able to get them onto a table at the crow's nest, and we can have a real good look at them. Yes, well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for joining me tomorrow and the next day if you're watching this back. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Somebody told me earlier a lot of people have been unsubscribed to certain channels. I've not noticed any on mine yet. But I know one of the bigger channels I speak to, he lost 400 subscribers, just unsubscribed. But there's obviously a mistake by YouTube, but I don't know. I've not noticed anything, but if you just double check you subscribe, that'd be great. Don't forget to subscribe to Pirate Rich Plays for updates on the crow's nest. And yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Cheers for joining me. Cheerio.